Well, hello everybody. How are you doing today? I'm doing well. I'm here to read with you again the chapter book. I'm going to try not to talk so much today and maybe read a little bit more. How does that sound? I love that all the comments you're giving me about the chapter books that we're reading. I love reading to you, and I love the chapter books because it gives me something to think forward about, and for me to be anxious and excited about hearing the next happenings in the story. So that's what's so cool about a chapter book, is it continues, and we meet the characters and we get to know them, and then the characters are still there tomorrow, the next day, or we get to meet new characters, and that is so fun. Okay, if you recall, we are reading our new book, Zoey and Sassafras, Dragons and Marshmallows. Let's review the first chapter that we read yesterday. I see a light flashing behind me. I hope that doesn't bother you like it's bothering me. Let me scoot forward and try to make my head block it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's review what happened in chapter 1. We met the main characters. Do you remember who the main characters were? Yes, there were 2 main characters so far. We had one main character, and her name began with a Z. Anybody remember? Yes, Zoey. And the other main character was a character that had 4 S's in his name. He is a cat. His name is Sassafras. And in chapter 1, Zoey was outside playing with Sassafras, and Sassafras was trying to turn over a rock because obviously he knew there was something fun underneath the rock. And lo and behold, when Zoey turned over the rock, there were a bazillion, as she put it, roly-polies. But then she said, oh yeah, maybe 20. And what was exciting in that chapter? Do you remember what she did with the discovery that Sassafras made? Yay! Yes, she decided to make a bug circus. She created 4 different things for the bugs to do. And I just thought her creative thinking was impressive. I'm not sure I would have ever thought about a bug circus. So remember, she had some flat rocks for the bugs to walk across. She made a tightrope, and the funny part about the tightrope is the big roly-polies couldn't get across because they were too heavy or they couldn't keep their balance. But then she put the little roly-poly, a smaller one, on the balance, it wasn't a balance beam, it was a trapeze. She put the smaller roly-poly on the trapeze, and the roly-poly made it all the way across. She also took some twigs and bent them so that the bugs could go through the, I think she called them hoops, correct? And there was one more thing she created. Oh my gosh, I thought I remembered all this, but it's a good thing I have my book here. Let me see. I'm going to go to the table of contents. Woo, chapter 1 begins on 5. And I know that if I go to 5, it wasn't on that page. That was just the very beginning. So I need to thumb through just a little bit. She made a bridge. No, let's see. Yeah, she made a bridge. And there was something else that was interesting about Zoey, is she likes to wear protective eye goggles, but she didn't need them to protect her eyes for the bug circus, but she likes to put the protective or the goggles close to her brain. She says it makes her think better. Okay, so our chapter ended with Zoey going in the house to tell her mom, who we found out was packing, because they're going somewhere, I guess. And then her mom was looking at a picture, and I think her mom put the picture down pretty fast, and Zoey was wondering, no. She just know that her mom wasn't looking out the window at Sassafras and Zoey. She was actually looking at a picture of their old barn, and she was holding a picture. Okay, Sassafras, let's go to chapter 2. It begins on page 11. Here we go. It's chapter 2, The Mystery Photo. Sassafras and I burst into my mom's office. She jumped and quickly hid the photo under a pile of papers before smiling at us. Mom! Sassafras found a billion roly-polies under a rock in our yard. I wasn't sure what to do with them, but then I used my thinking goggles and we made a circus with a tightrope and everything. Can you come and see, please? Oh, that sounds wonderful, Zoey. I'm almost finished getting ready for this trip. Here's the picture of Sassafras chasing a butterfly. For chapter 2. Give me 5 more minutes. I shrugged and leaned on her desk while Sassafras wove through my legs. I was trying to act like I didn't mind her leaving for a trip. Oh, so the mom is leaving for a trip. But maybe I felt a little nervous about not seeing her for a whole week. I was also curious about that photo she stashed away so quickly. Remember when Zoey, at the beginning of this chapter, came in the kitchen, Mom had a photo in her hand, and she was looking at it, and she quickly put it under or in a drawer, and that she stashed it away really quick. As she packed, I poked at her papers and scooched them around. Whoa! What was that? A purple glow came from under a pile of papers. I pushed the top papers aside and gasped. In the photo was my mom when she was around my age. She was grinning with 2 missing teeth. Oh, that makes me have a connection to some of you that are missing teeth. I can see a visual of you in my brain without your teeth. With a purple frog on her head that was glowing. I almost dropped the photo. Okay, so the picture has of her mom, missing teeth, a purple frog on top of her head, and the frog is glowing. Mom glanced over her shoulder. What is it? I held out the photo with a trembling hand. This photo, the frog, it's glowing. How? My mom spun around so fast that some of the papers she was holding fell and scattered on the ground. You see Pip? She said. Pip? Who was Pip? What in the world was going on? There it is. That must be the picture, and the frog is glowing. And her mom looks very, very surprised, maybe a little bit nervous, maybe a little bit curious, maybe a little bit I can't believe it. Let's see. That was the end. Should we keep going? Let's do, please. Okay. So this is going to be chapter 3. It's called Pip. And chapter 3 begins on page 14. So let's find out who Pip is. Mom was still frozen in place. She whispered, I never thought. I was so sure I was the only one. She finally snapped out of it and sat down at her desk. Oh, sorry for acting so strange. Zoey, come, sit, and I'll try to explain. Mom shook her head once more and smiled at me. I sat down slowly. I was so confused. A glowing frog that only my mom could see. My stomach flipped and flopped. I picked up Sassafras and gave him a squeeze. He settled into my lap and purred, which calmed me down a little bit. Ooh, connection. I think I told you before that when I pet my dogs, maybe I told all of you, maybe just some of you, when I pet my dogs, that always helps me feel calm. So if I'm feeling nervous and I'm at home and I have my dogs with me, or sad, or mad, or frustrated, if I get the dogs near me and I pet them, that calms me down. So that's one thing I do to help myself. I seriously hoped that all of this would start making better sense soon. My mom said, remember how this used to be Grandma and Grandpa's house? I nodded slowly and kept petting Sassafras as my heart thumped loudly. Well, my mom said, when I was your age, I also spent hours wandering in the forest. One day I was tossing rocks into the stream when I saw something shimmer in the sunlight. The purple frog, I guessed? Mom nodded. His bright purple skin was covered head to toe with neon orange spots. I had never seen anything like it, my mom said. I was sure I'd discovered a brand new species of frogs. I nodded again. I love frogs, and I had never seen a frog that looked like that. That's pretty cool, I thought. The poor thing, the frog, was crumpled on the ground, and it was barely breathing. I knew it must be very sick or hurt. I had to help it, my mom said. I carefully scooped it up and held it close. I found an old empty fish tank in our barn and got to work figuring out what was wrong. Books helped a little, but I needed to run some simple experiments too. Hey, her mom is also into science and thinking. I used what I learned from the experiments to help the frog recover. Once he was better, I knew I had to return him to the forest. I reached into his tank and he hopped right into my hand. As I lifted him out, something incredible happened, my mom said. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. Ooh, I wonder what incredible thing happened. Here's a picture of her mom when she was a little girl, checking out the frog that she found, and she could tell it wasn't doing well. Can you see that? She's looking at it. And then her mom is showing her, has her hands out, and there's Zoey holding tight to Sassafras. Remember, she said that keeps her calm. I could tell my mom was about to say something big. My mom is a scientist, so she sees crazy things all the time. If this was the craziest thing my mom, the scientist, had seen, then it must be incredible. I leaned in, scooting so far forward that Sassafras slid to the ground with a woof. I quickly scooped him back up. What happened? What did you see? I said to my mom. The frog looked me in the eye, smiled, and said, "Thank you." I clapped my hand over my mouth. Boy, when I heard her say something incredible happened, I was never thinking that a frog was going to talk to her. So here we go. Zoey is so listening to her mom right here. And her mom is showing with her, she's using a gesture. Right here, she's using her hands to show Zoey. Okay, let's continue. Let's see how much more. Oh, good. We get to read some more. What was going on? Was my mom playing a joke on me? She seemed pretty serious, but a talking frog? Really? It just couldn't be. I was so shocked, my mom continued. I almost tossed that poor frog into the air. Whoa, he said. Steady there, little girl. Don't be afraid. My name is Pip, and I'm so grateful for all of your help. Here, I had to interrupt. But Mom, this is crazy. Frogs, they can't talk. Mom patted my knee. That's what I thought at first too, my mom said. But the frog kept on talking. I wasn't dreaming. I wasn't imagining things. There really was a frog named Pip talking to me. My hands shook so much that I set Pip on a table for his own safety. I was afraid I would throw him, my mom said. He told me he'd been out past dark looking for something he'd dropped during the day. An owl attacked him. He was terrified and hurt, but the frog, he said, managed to escape. He didn't remember anything after that until he woke up in our barn. Once I recovered from the shock of it all, my mom said, Pip told me that there are lots of magical animals in our forest. Humans can't usually see them. He asked if I'd help others, magical creatures like him, who were hurt or sick. And of course, my mom said, I agreed with Pip. Pip spread the word about me, my mom said, and the barn after he left. And I've been helping the magical animals of our forest ever since, my mom said. So here's the mom when she was a little girl. And here's the frog speaking to her. He's even standing up and he's talking using gestures with his hands. So there's the mom when she was little. There's the little fish tank she had him in. She put him on the table, remember, for his safety. And then he's explaining to her or asking her if she would help other magical creatures in the forest. And she is telling the frog, yes, of course she would. A big smile spread across my face. This was incredible. The only thing I might love more than science, Zoey said, is magic. And my mom was telling me there was magic right here in our own backyard. And that, my friends, is the end of chapter 3. I would love to read more, but I have to save it till tomorrow. Okay, so we're going to leave this chapter. Zoey has just found out some incredible news about her mother. Her mother is a scientist like her. She already knew that part. But her mother is able to communicate and help magical creatures. And now Zoey has found out that there are magical creatures in her backyard. How exciting. I'm just wondering what kind of magical creatures there might be in the backyard. And I'm thinking to myself, how exciting. If I was Zoey or Sassafras, I would be so excited and want to go into my backyard to see the magical creatures. All right, my friends, it's time to say goodbye. Here's my big, giant virtual hug. And let's say our positive affirmation so I can send you on your way. Maybe you could go to your backyard and see if you can find any magical creatures. But if you find any, you must tell me. And I must hear you communicate with the magical creatures. Do you think you could do that? Or maybe in your imagination, right? All right, let's do our positive affirmation. Are you ready? I am smart. I am caring. I am honest. I am silly. I am brave. I am loved. And you are so very loved. So thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying our new book, Zoey and Sassafras. I read 2 chapters today. Boy, that was exciting for me, and I hope it was exciting for you. And I can't wait to read with you again tomorrow. So ta-ta for now. That means goodbye, so long, farewell. I hate to see you go. I must be on my way to work on Seesaw, creating little activities for you, listening to your wonderful work. That is also a wonderful part of my day. And I need to fix the light that's going blink, blink, blink. I've got my head covering it. Here, I'll let you see it. Bloop. Gone. Bloop. Gone. I don't think I have the right light bulb. I'm going to have to figure that one out. Get some more. Fix that light because I think it is kaput. I think it's telling me I need to be changed. I have to take care of responsibilities around the house, just like you. One of my chores, got a big list, but I can do it. All right. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.